Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
He definitely understands that he's the guy in charge. He's going to be the guy in the huddle, and, he's got to be an extension of us. We're excited for him. We've got a lot of confidence in him. I think he showed it in the limited action he did last year. And
broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio with Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
You ever watch the show Pee Wee Herman, his TV show?
Yes.
Do you remember the word of the day sort of gag?
I do.
Well, today's word of the day, kids, is hedge.
Oh.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. It's Mountain Blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush Coors Light.
He's Alex Strofe. I am Jim Rutledge. Matt Hamilton will be back on the show on Thursday, allegedly.
Allegedly.
He promises, but Matt Hamilton sometimes with this show overpromises and underdelivers as far as showing up. Now, when he's here, he'll deliver 50% of the time. He's like Sex Panther like that, the Anchorman cologne.
There you go.
50% of the time.
It works 100% of the time.
That's Matt Hamilton. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, and today's word
That
is...
was the most obscure reference that you made in the first 60 seconds of the show I think you've ever made. Well done.
More obscure than the Pee Wee Herman show?
They're both obscure, but go on. The word of the day is hedge. Why?
You know why. What is the details of the new contract signed by Mr. Jordan Love, who, God help me, I don't know why he signed this deal. Well, I do know why he signed this deal, but let's get into the details here. Breaking news earlier today from our friend Adam Schefter at ESPN.
Is he our friend?
He's friend of Good Karma. He's on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy during football season.
And he nailed the name of the show. Nicely done.
I did.
Yeah.
It breaks my brain to try to say it like that, but I did get it right. But Adam Schefter had the news. Jordan Love extends his contract. Give us the details, Oxtroff.
The details that I definitely have in front of me right now, Jim, are...
I was filibustering.
No, I have it in front of me. I'm just kidding. 1-year extension, so that's the 2024 season, which includes $13.5 million guaranteed, but can be worth up to $22.5 million, so an extra $9 million there. But we are not quite certain on what that is, whether that's performance-based, whether that is initiative-based, like showing up for off-season programs, etc. But it is at least $13.5 million guaranteed for Jordan Love, but it can be worth up to more than $22 million, which, of course, would be more than the fifth-year option that the team could have picked up. But obviously the team did not pick up the option. They offered the extension instead, and I'm intrigued by you saying you don't know why Jordan Love signed it. Why don't you know why?
Well, I do, but it's not the answer I think Packer fans are looking for, and that's why I'm using the word hedge. Shout out to JJ and Poinette, who chimed in 844-770-3776. You can do the same. Not at all obscure. 60% of the time, it works every time, is one of the most quoted movie lines. Thanks, JJ.
Maybe not most, but it's certainly used. I would agree.
All right.
It's a little obscure.
While we're talking Packers,
Great
give me
movie,
obscure, or give me your favorite line from any movie. 844-770-3776. You can go ahead and text it in. You can call it in. Give me a line that you like from a movie. Go ahead, make my day. 844-770-3776.
Boy,
We do a
that
whole
escalated
show on one-liners.
Oh, boy, I'm not going to last long.
The hedging of the bet here by the Green Bay Packers is, I think they called up Jordan Love's agent and said, hey, man, we're not picking up his option.
Right.
We're not picking up that $20 million. So,
however,
here's what we can offer you.
Yep.
We will basically guarantee you $13 million. That will guarantee us some sort of coverage if Jordan Love is good, that we have him under cost control for 2 seasons. And 13's better than 0. And I think that's the way it broke out. And Jordan Love, everyone will be happy if Jordan Love hits all the escalators. If they're performance-based, he probably won't. I have no problem with the Packers hedging their bets on a business side of things, but I do think it is a continued glimpse and indication that the Packers know that they do not know anything about Jordan Love, the quarterback. And they also know, no, I think that's, as they've said it a couple times, we can hear from Goody, and Aaron Rodgers even said this when he praised Jordan Love. We still have to see him play.
He has to play, right.
with a team game planning against them, and he might have a good first 3 or 4 games, and then what happens? So you have to see a whole season out of Jordan Love. And the Packers are hedging because they don't see enough in practice. They have not seen enough in practice in the games he's played or in the preseason through 3 seasons so far to say we feel comfortable doing more than what we just did, which is hedging our bet.
Yeah, I disagree with half of that, though, because the Packers obviously know more than us. That's something you and I can both agree on, right, is they have seen the practices and we've seen the preseason games the last 2 years. But
they're also biased because they picked the guy.
Well, of course.
So you got to account for a lot of different things when you're doing
right.
this.
There's a lot of different factors that play into this. But, yes, they are hedging. I will agree with that part of what you're saying, right? I mean, they're only on the books for 13 and 24. If for some reason Jordan Love goes out next year in 23, stinks up the joint, and they have the number 1 pick overall, they pick Caleb Williams. And then all of a sudden, Williams is your starting quarterback in 24, right? So that's the hedge aspect of this. But the reason they're offering, in my eyes, this contract to Jordan Love is strictly because they want to make a commitment to a point, but they don't want to overpay. And, again, that goes back to the hedging aspect of this. But I don't think it's because they don't know what he is, right? They have the confidence that Jordan Love can be a good quarterback. And I think they've been pretty open
if
about
they
that.
did, they would have done a better deal. They would have secured him here longer.
Yeah.
They have the confidence that he's earned
Love, I don't think Jordan Love would have signed it then.
I think they have the confidence to say, we're going to give Jordan Love full carte blanche to try to earn this job for the future. It is his now. Yeah. That's the confidence they have in him. They have less confidence in Jordan Love than the Saints do in Derek Carr. And anyone else that signed a deal that's more. They have the same confidence in Jordan Love as the Bears had in Mike Glennon. That's the confidence level we are looking at right now with the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love.
It's more definitive than Glennon, but I understand your point because obviously
Glennon was more.
But they went out and drafted Trubisky.
Right, but Glennon did more in the NFL to that point than Jordan Love.
Absolutely.
We are also asking you 844-770-3776 for your favorite movie quote. I don't care what it's from.
Yeah, we can only read, what, 2 of these?
Sadler chimes in, show me the money, and say hello to my little friend. Leroy
Both classics.
Says, my crap always works sometimes. That's modified.
Yep.
And you're telling me I can't say motorboating?
Well, you just did. So.
You can say motorboating. Matt Hamilton motorboats out on the lake all the time.
Yeah, what are the 3 words after that?
You could say, well, we have to paraphrase here. You did it, didn't you? You motorboating son of a gun. We'll leave off the last part to really set it out there. Matt Hamilton loves to motorboat out on the lake.
That's what she said.
He's got a motorboat. Alex Stroh? Is that not what they're talking about in Wedding Crashers?
Absolutely not. Yeah. No, that's absolutely what they're talking about. You're so right, Jim.
So we will take your random movie quotes.
Doing? How about the Bills signing former Seahawks defensive tackle Poona Ford? It's a real name.
Good for them. I've never heard his name called in NFL broadcast before, I'll be honest.
Just thought it was an interesting name.
So back to my interesting take.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
So
I actually think the Packers doing this should make you feel heartened that Goody's not blindly in love. Love is not blinding Goody right now. Goody's saying, you're right, I picked you. And because of that, and because of what we've seen in practice, I'm saying I feel good enough to hedge here. If the Packers just walked away, you'd feel completely different about it. But they didn't do that. They hedged, and they feel good about it. And I think that is what that's what you can be excited about if you're a Packer fan, is that they feel good enough to hedge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like that Jordan Love is garbage. They're saying we've seen enough in practice to give you one full season as a starter. That's really what this is.
This is too, though. Wouldn't you? Because if they're guaranteeing $13 million in 2024, unless he to my earlier point, right? Unless he totally stinks next year,
right?
Like I'm talking 32nd starting quarterback in the National Football League.
He's got a guaranteed full season and into next season. But if he stinks next year and they have a top 10 pick and they take those 2 picks, one from the Jets and one from themselves, and maybe package of a second rounder and move up to get. The quarterback from North Carolina or whomever, or the quarterback from USC, or whoever is viewed as the top guy at that point.
Yeah.
Well, then that's saying the clock is ticking for Jordan Love. So, yes, he might get a season and a half, but that quarterback's going to be lingering with a large shadow in the background. So this is good business for the Packers. And they played hardball with Jordan Love. I don't think it'll backfire like it did with Aaron Rodgers because they went to Jordan Love and said, hey, man, we like you. We don't love you.
I don't think they said that, but I understand your point.
I wish they did. That'd be great.
No, it wouldn't be.
It would be hilarious.
It'd be really bad, in fact. It'd be the
worse
exact
than
opposite of great.
Worse than alienating your quarterback who's now the happiest man alive out in New York, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's currently on the Pat McAfee show, Jim,
Yes.
right now as we speak. So we'll probably hear from him a bit later in the show. But I'm just reading some quotes.
Yeah.
He said he's been pinching himself all week. He can't believe this is real, that he's in New York. Aaron Rodgers just said that. So there you go, on the Pat McAfee show, which we'll get to a bit later.
Daryl in Deerfield chimes in. We don't need no stinking Badgers. That's his quote. I think he's referencing from something else. Jeremiah Madison says, don't attempt to grow a brain from the movie Speed. The JJ Poinette chimes in saying, I speak fluent movie quotes with a little picture there. And then the Adam Madison chimes in on the actual topic. Although you can call it lack of confidence, I think the Love deal is more lack of assurance. They're confident in him, or they would have done more to keep Rodgers. They want to see him prove he can do what they believe he can do, and I'm sure Jordan is well aware of this, and he has no issue signing the deal.
I think he's spot on. I think everything you said in that text is spot on.
No, Rodgers deal was that Rodgers thing was done. It was past cooked. They had to move on from Rodgers.
Yes and no, right? Because if they knew they were moving on from Rodgers this offseason, they wouldn't have given him that deal last year.
Right, but I'm not saying that this offseason and the way last season went, the Packers said
it was time to turn the
done.
page, for sure.
Like I think we're going to learn more and more as we see
I don't
Aaron.
know that we're going to, at least for a while.
Right, but we see Aaron. We don't even have to learn it. We see Aaron in New York, freshly cut, smile on his face, happily practicing a man about town during all this volunteer stuff. Aaron didn't show up for that for a while. Yeah. So just that alone, on the outside looking in, you see a man who's more engaged with his new team than he was with the prior team. I think the Packers are smarter than we think, where they know and they knew it was toxic. And again, this isn't a knock against Jordan Love. This is a hedge. The Packers are looking at Jordan Love saying, hey, man, we see enough to give you an opportunity, but we do not see enough to go all in with you. So we're hedging. We hope you work out, but we're also covering our butts if you don't.
Yeah.
And that is the fair. They like him. They don't love him.
Yeah, that I agree with, right? And, to go back to Rodgers, this is kind of chapter 3 of the Aaron Rodgers revitalization of his career, right? Chapter 1 was in 2008 when he took over as the starter after being a backup for 3 years. Chapter 2 is in 2019 when Matt LaFleur took over as the head coach. And he became, obviously, a 3 and then 4-time MVP under LaFleur. And now this is the third revitalization as he heads to the Big Apple and becomes the face of the franchise for the New York Jets. So he's certainly revitalized. He's certainly re-energized. And a change of scenery, and I think, a lot of Packers fans, me included at this point, agree a change of scenery was best for both sides. Now, it's going to work out a little bit better for Aaron Rodgers in year 1 than it will for the Packers, but down the road is ultimately it ultimately depends on what Jordan Love is. If Jordan Love comes out and lights the world on fire in 2023, which I think is unlikely, but if of course it's a possibility. If Jordan Love is to come out and light the world on fire, maybe the Packers are laughing all the way to the bank and back to the NFC playoffs, which in a not very crowded NFC, again, it's a possibility. I don't think it's highly realistic, but it is a possibility.
And that's how the Packers are looking at Jordan Love
I think you're right.
in year 1.
Hey,
it's possible he cooks and blows it up, but we like you right now. That's it. That's the headline. If I'm writing the headline for whatever paper still exists, or if I'm writing it for ESPN.com, Packers not love Jordan Love. That's it. They like him. They're in like with Jordan Love. They're not in love with Jordan Love.
They're in like. I think
they're
right
not
about
moving
that.
in together. They're not saying,
Well,
I love you.
They're moving in together. They're saying there's probably.
You would move in with someone you don't love?
No, not me personally, but they're clearly moving in together as the starting quarterback of the Green Bay Packers.
I don't know, man.
This analogy is getting weird, Jimmy.
It is, because I just think that
Is this a rebound they've moved in with, maybe? Like, would that be the way to look at it? Or they're maybe in a relationship with a rebound?
I just think, and we're kind of talking about levels here. To me, we're talking emotions and we're talking physical. Like sometimes moving in together could be, hey, we date long enough, let's just save some cash and move in together and see how it goes.
Yeah.
This is more, when I'm talking emotions here, they like Jordan Love, but they're not in love with Jordan Love. They're dating, they're not proposing. Like, we can do it like that.
Okay.
They have not proposed. maybe they moved in and they're in like with them, and they think maybe they can love them, but they have not popped the question.
They've extended the relationship, though. The relationship's safe for the time.
Promise ring?
Yeah, I think with this extension, that might be the promise ring.
Also, so dumb.
Oh, yeah, they're the worst things ever created.
I don't know why they exist.
So I'm glad you bring this up, because a girl I went to college with who I wasn't, like, super tight with by any means. But
you promise ringed her?
No.
What do you even call that?
So it is. I don't know, but it's getting weird. So let's stop with whatever you're doing there. The contractions. And so anyway, so she had kind of dated, not dated, but seen one of my friends. You get what I'm getting at. And so she was around for a while. She started dating this guy in college, and like immediately got a promise ring. Right? They recently got engaged over the weekend, and I've seen it all over social media. And I said to Taylor, my girlfriend, I thought they were already engaged. She said, no, she's had a promise ring for like 4 years. Like, so what the hell's the point?
Yeah, I don't even know. You can't blame jewelers for this, because I don't know any jewelers that market promise
No.
rings. Like, this is just stupid.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Shout out to JJ and Poinette, who chimes in with the Packers are afraid to be alone situation.
Well, you can't not have a quarterback. But I understand his point.
Yeah, no, that's kind of a good way to describe the Packers' feelings right now. Also, the New York Mets have reached out to Aaron Rodgers about throwing out a first pitch at Citi Field.
He's going to do it.
Mr. New York.
Yeah, he is
Complicated fella?
He is
ain't complicated in New York.
No, he's a king. He's the king of New York right now. Yeah. He's absolutely the king of New York City right now, which is why.
And he's loving it.
Yeah, he's eating up all the attention. Who wouldn't, right? By all means. Like, I can't give him too hard of a time. Who wouldn't? He's in the biggest market in the United States, and debatably the biggest sports market in the world. And he is the king there, right? Because these people haven't adamantly watched or listened to everything he said for the last 3 years, like you and I have, Jim, and you have, Ryan, and a lot of our fans listening to the show have, right? We've heard every word just about Aaron Rodgers has said over the course of the last 3 years, if not 10 years, if not 15 years. And New York is just deciding to ignore everything that happened at the end of his time in Green Bay because they didn't have an eye on it. They didn't know this was a realistic possibility that one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history was going to be their guy until 2 months ago, less than that. So they've just started, really clocking in on everything Aaron Rodgers has said the last 2 months, and everything he said the last 2 months has been likable. In fact, I would go a step further. If I'm a Jets fan, everything he said the last 2 months has been lovable. And you see him out at Rangers games, RIP to them. And you see him out at Knicks games, right? And now he's going to be throwing out first pitch at Mets games. You see him all over the town. How wouldn't you love this guy? He's so lovable as a New York sports figure. It's wild to me because there's been a total turnaround from comfortable Aaron Rodgers, who's been in the same place for 18 years, to new city, new town, new faces, new places. He's eaten all of it up, but who wouldn't?
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's turbo high-output engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Your first date? Going well. The carnival? Cash only. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you, with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So when you decide to win that giant stuffed purple raccoon at $5 a throw, we're looking out for you. No matter how many throws it takes. You've got this. With 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home. Roofing, windows, gutters, siding, and decks. Can Legacy do it? You bet. Better prices, better warranties. Legacy always makes it easy. Go to legacy-exteriors.com. Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone. Let us leave a legacy on your home.
Ben Bruce here for my favorite racetrack in North America, and that is Road America. Race fans, it's time to make your summer plans for fast family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. Experience 9 major races from vintage weekends to high-thrill NASCAR racing at the best NASCAR track in America. Bring the entire family for more affordable fun with on-site camping, free parking, and most of all, free admission for kids 16 and younger. See the full race schedule at roadamerica.com. Road America, America's national park of speed.
John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Help us celebrate 90 years in business by visiting us at 220 State Street. We've been a part of a lot of great moments, and we want to add to those special occasions. Our staff is here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. Come see firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers has withstood the test of time and why we're truly a destination worth reaching. Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison, and a whole lot more. Goodman'sJewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
What does it take to make a diamond? Extreme heat and pressure and about 1 billion years. But you can't wait that long. What do? You go to Goodman's Jewelers. I'm John Hayes from Goodman's Jewelers. There's a reason we are the Diamond Store of Madison. Since 1933, we provided outstanding service and selection to our customers. And that in turn has helped to establish countless great memories through the years. Goodman'sJewelers.com. Located at 220 State Street. Truly a destination worth reaching.
Stoughton Health provides comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton community and the entire Madison area. From our sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to our renowned ortho team with Dr. Ravel, Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
You've got me seeing stars brighter than ever, shining just like diamonds do. I know that in time it could be ours, brighter than ever.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from the Spark Building. We haven't really asked you the question, but Jordan Love, how does it make you feel about Jordan Love's future that the Packers are hedging on him? 844-770-3776. And we'll ask the Iron Jock poll question, what word would you describe this new Jordan Love contract? Hedge? Win-win? Mistake? I wouldn't use mistake. I'm just trying to think of some phrases there. I don't know if we want to throw a fourth one up there. Ryan, you can. Alex Strofe with me. I'm Jim Rutledge. And so we're asking you, Jordan Love, he's extended, but not really. It's more of we worked his deal. So essentially he went from making $20 million next year to $13. And there's a possibility for him to earn more. Yeah. And the easiest way to look at it is the Packers they like Jordan Love. They don't love him right now. But look, liking's not nothing. Doesn't mean you won't get there to propose to him in this analogy, and you won't start to love him. But right now, they're actually doing smart business. They're not blinded by their pick of Jordan Love. They're not foolishly jumping into it with Jordan Love just because they picked him. But it also tells you that Jordan Love hasn't shown the Packers enough for them to fully commit long-term with him. What they've shown him is that, hey, you've earned the opportunity through your time here. He'd have to be horrendous as a teammate and as a player not to get this. Yeah. But basically they're saying, you've worked hard enough. We've seen enough progression. You've earned a shot, especially, and the Packers have been telling you this with their moves every single day, they are planning on just rolling it out there this year and seeing what happens. They're not going to make any big free agent splashes. They're not making any major trades. They're not trying to lose anything, but they're just going to roll their roster out there and see what they have, and then the following year they'll probably make some moves, start making moves. $50 million in cap space isn't massive. It's massive from what the Packers have had, but it probably still will be just outside the top 10 in cap space going into next year. Assuming maybe it's a little bigger now with the reworking of Jordan Love's deal, because I think that $50 million accounted for a $20 million cap hit for Jordan Love. But the Packers are accumulating draft picks. They're not signing free agents, and they didn't sign a major deal for their young quarterback. Alex, that sounds like a team that won't use the words rebuilding, but at least for a year they're retooling.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's somewhere in the middle of those two, right? Retooling and rebuilding, at least in 23. It's going to be rough, right? I mean, I've come to the conclusion that this year is not going to be very fun. It's going to be fun in its own way, right? Because as we've talked about plenty of times, for the last 30 years, you've had championship expectations. For the first time in 2023, as Packers fans, we don't have championship expectations. You have expectations of figuring out who the hell Jordan Love is, right? I mean, you understand his character at this point. You've seen enough interviews. He's a good dude. His teammates like him, and they for the last at least year at least have talked very highly of him, right? And we've played audio from all sorts of players that said, yes, this guy can be it. So
Now,
we'll see.
I want to point out two things.
Yeah.
That sounds exactly, and I know this is true from people who are in the organization as well, exactly like Mitch Trubisky. His teammates loved him.
Yeah.
They knew he worked his ass off. They
Yeah.
knew he was ready to play, and he was locked in when he was out there.
Yeah.
And everyone in that building, everyone wanted him to succeed. So,
And he didn't.
those are all the bare minimums. You still have to do it. Now, it is good that he has those bare minimums. He's not Jamarcus Russell or not Jeff George.
Great pulls.
Or any of these other guys who had questionable leadership qualities.
Ryan Leaf, maybe
Ryan
another
Leaf.
good pull there.
Yeah, but that
was a little bit different. You're right.
little addiction problems there. You can't say Cutler had the ability to cover up maybe some of the stuff with him, but Jordan Love has those things unquestionably. But that and $1 will get you an Arizona iced tea. That's it. So
those are $1.29 now, which
they finally bumped those up, huh?
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
Josh and Madison chimes in. Last year, Rodgers with hurt ribs and broken thumb still starts, as far as I'm guessing, over Jordan Love. That's a little bit of politics there. You can't bench Aaron Rodgers, so I don't think that indicates anything for Jordan Love, but I will say
would have been nice if they did, though, right? Because ultimately, looking back, hindsight's, of course, 2020. They didn't make the playoffs. It would have been great to see Jordan Love. But
Aaron Rodgers, and he didn't do this on purposely, inadvertently screwed the Packers over more than any other way he could.
No, and you're right. It was inadvertently entirely, right? He wanted to make the playoffs, and he was a win away from doing such, and we got no Jordan Love out of it.
844.
It sucks looking back on that, Jim. It still hurts, that Detroit game in mid-January.
It was disastrous.
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers really lost in that game. His last pass as a Packer was an interception.
And
we don't talk
Favre's
about
last
that enough.
Pass as a Packer.
Also an interception. Pretty wild how that works out. They both started 15 years, too, if I'm not mistaken, which is wild.
It is. And they both went to the Jets, and they both ended. It's less ugly this time for Rodgers, but I think because Packer fans are calloused.
Well, yeah, but they both lost win-or-go-home games at Lambeau Field. Favre was obviously in the playoffs. Rodgers was not. But it was win-or-go-home games. And they both ended it with an interception. It's just crazy. Anyway, sorry.
No, nothing to complain about. It is wild. And it is also, it's supposed to be nice next week, so I'm going to get out and get some golf in. But the nice thing is, because I go to Carbon World Health, I've noticed it just in my golf swing, everything I'm doing athletically, it's all happening a little bit easier, partly because of the 6-week experience you can sign up for, but also because of semaglutide. This month, for May, you can sign up. Go to carbonworldhealth.com. You go to their Facebook and Instagram to see the full details of these specials, but you can sign up for a specific amount of time of semaglutide treatment, and they'll include the workouts. So that is a major value there. Semaglutide is going to help you get the results from your workout. It is an FDA-approved weight loss treatment. It will help you burn fat, not muscle, and it'll help you drop weight. I have dropped 26 pounds, kept up my muscle mass, and my body fat percentage has dropped from the high teens to about 10%. That can all happen for you at Carbon World Health. Ask them about semaglutide. Ask them about hormone replacement. One of those two things, along with working out, will help you reach your fitness and weight loss goals, helping you enjoy the summer more, helping you enjoy kayaking and golfing and being out at the beach, feel better about your body, feel better in your body. All that happens at Carbon World Health. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Ridgetop Exteriors provides the best quality roofs, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Ridgetop. They're the trusted, recommended experts. The customer service is their #1 priority, and they strive to exceed expectations of the homeowners they serve. Best part is they're local. They live and work in the areas they serve, so the people they're often helping are their friends and neighbors. Right now, they've got a no-interest, or low-interest financing options available, and you can go to ridgetopexteriors.com to get your free estimate on your next home project. That's ridgetopexteriors.com.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
What if a quarterback completed 4 out of 5 of his passes, or a point guard hit 4 out of 5 shots beyond the arc? Well, now when you're hiring, you can play at that level, because 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter's matching technology identifies people with the right skills and experience and invites them to apply to your job. To try ZipRecruiter for free, our listeners can go to ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey, because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
The following is a message from the future, sent by Jamie from Progressive.
Back in 2023, you could get help from Progressive online, through our mobile app, or over the phone. But here, in the future, you'll be able to chat with us from space. Maybe you're asking, why are you spending time on insurance in space? Shouldn't you be sculpting something out of moon rocks or jumping around with no gravity? Insurance seems more like a back on Earth kind of thing, right? Actually, in the future, space is no big deal. Errands are totally appropriate.
That was a message from the future. Get the help you need today with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
To every woman with a will and a workbench. Every mom with a miter saw she's not afraid to use. Every daughter with a drill and the drive. To the women who get their nail guns together. The ones who are welding the gap. The same ones who DIY like no one's watching. At the Home Depot, we see the potential in you because you see the potential in everything. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
North and South Seafood and Smokehouse is the official barbecue and seafood and smokehouse of Rutledge and Hamilton. Make sure to listen every Wednesday for your chance to win a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison, Verona, and DeForest. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
Forward Madison FC's professional soccer season is in full swing from Breeze Stevens Field. The Flamingos' next home game is Thursday, May 18th at 7 p.m., only 4 days after Mother's Day. To celebrate, Forward Madison has the perfect ticket package for any mom in your life. Get a ticket, belt bag, can of wine, and bumper stickers starting at just $33. To purchase this package or single game tickets, head to ForwardMadisonFC.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by X Golf in Madison and Middleton.
Joe, if you look like you need a drink, I recommend going to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Have Kevin over there make a drink. Enjoy the sizzle and swirl happy hour over at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. The best happy hour in Madison. Best kept secret in Madison. Enjoy the Horseshoe Bar. Whether you're going there for a date night, you're going there to impress a client, going there just to hang out and enjoy a happy hour, going there for a big event. Lee will take care of all that for you, and if you're just going there for happy hour, Kevin's got you covered over at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. And this is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light Trophy. You want to drink here because Aaron Rodgers is talking about playing for a long time, but if you were going to have a drink, what drink would that be?
Yeah, my friends at Door County Distillery are the best. They make the brandies, the gins, the vodkas, the rums, whatever you need. They've got you covered. I was up there the other week up in Carlsville in Door County, checking out their distillery, the winery section. It's just awesome. So if you're planning any summer trips to Door County, it is a must-go to Door County Distillery and Door County Winery. Tell them I sent you. But otherwise, you can make the cherry brandy old fashioned, my personal favorite. They sell the cherry brandy here in the Madison area as well as their bourbon, their whiskey, whatever you need, your rum, the gin. I've never been a huge gin guy, but I really like the gin from Door County Distillery. You can find it at any of your favorite retailers. You can also find their craft cocktail recipes on their website and the location nearest to you at doorcountydistillery.com.
Pat McAfee had Aaron Rodgers on today, and we'll get the audio cut up. I did send it to Ryan. He can try to get that cut up in a little bit here. But Pat McAfee told Aaron Rodgers, "Looks like the ball is spinning." Aaron is the paraphrase quote there from Pat McAfee. Aaron replies, "I think I'll still be able to spin it for a long time."
I'm really mad.
It's been good out there with all the guys, and there's a lot of excitement around here. How do we feel about Aaron Rodgers living his best life out in New York? 844-770-3776.
It's like when you get out of a bad relationship that was really like, you used the word toxic earlier, so I'm gonna steal that from you.
Okay.
It was kind of toxic toward the end, by no fault of anybody's, right? It's a relationship that's kind of run its course, and you finally make the collective decision to break up. And, you move on with your life. You try to figure out your identity as a single man or woman. And, you try to figure out what that identity is. And then you pull up Instagram. And you see your ex-girlfriend moved back to a new city or moved out to a new city. She's posting these sexy-ass Instagram pictures. She looks great. And she is feeling herself in the new city. But it is hard.
It's more than that, though. Think of all the things that you asked her to maybe do that she wouldn't do
at the end,
for the relationship that now she is happily doing publicly, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. Like maybe you wanted her to go to the NFL draft, and now she's at the draft with her new boyfriend. Whatever it was, you wanted her to make you grilled cheese while you played video games. Just thinking of dumb things that guys your age would want done. And so, and now she's posting Instagram photos of her doing that in a swimsuit. Yes, it's absolutely horrendous.
Yeah,
and so I think our
tough.
secondary Iron Jock poll question is, are you happy that Aaron Rodgers seems happier than he's been in a long time in New York?
Now, my answer to that question is yes.
You are happy.
I'm happy for Rodgers. Look, he gave me so many great years, so many great memories. And at the end of the day, Jim, while he should have won more than one, he won a Super Bowl for the Green Bay Packers.
Gave you a child?
Gave me a child, right? So, yeah, no, it's absolutely...
I don't like that.
It's tough, but I am happy for him.
844-770-3776. I want someone angry. I'm not bitter. Not for I'm happy you're angry. I'm like, you should be mad. Screw this. This is a bunch of crap. Aaron Rodgers acted like a giant man baby for the last 3 years in Green Bay because his feelings got hurt because they thought maybe they should plan for the future. And we're seeing it firsthand that Aaron Rodgers, at some level, was a cancer in Green Bay because you look at how he operated and he purposely cut himself off from being the best version of himself that he can be. He said, I'm not coming to voluntary things.
Yeah, but that's not going to make him that much better.
I'm not going to go do this. I'm not going to go to all the different things I used to go. He purposely chose not to do certain things in Green Bay because his feelings were hurt. Out of spite. It's like the Jerry Seinfeld thing. I want to return this shirt out of spite. Aaron Rodgers sure as hell looks like he chose to do things or not do things in Green Bay out of spite. And the evidence for it is exactly what he's doing in New York. And I get it. It's very human, but it also can burn. And I think Packer fans should sit here and say, this sucks. Aaron Rodgers can kiss my butt. I'm now more in on Jordan Love than ever. That's what I would be doing right now if if Michael Jordan went to Washington and was going out there.
Fat Michael, yeah.
And it doesn't work because Jordan didn't leave on bad terms. Chicago pushed out Michael Jordan. That's how that ended, not the other way around.
But he wasn't Jordan.
But here's the thing: right? in this comp, though, the Bulls pushed out Jordan, and the Bulls are relentlessly ripped in Chicago forever because they ended that dynasty too early.
Yeah.
So, as an example, it's okay to put someone's feet to the fire because Aaron Rodgers is showing you that in Green Bay, he gave his full athletic ability, but he didn't give his full self. And screw that if I'm a Packer fan.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get what you're getting at. I don't agree with it at all, though. I mean, like,
you're just not an angry guy. Like,
screw
milk. Aaron Rodgers.
It's spilt milk.
This is crap.
I'm not going to cry
not
over spilt milk. Yes,
the spilt milk is still on the table.
The spilt milk is still on the table, but it's in a table in New York City, not in Green Bay, Wisconsin
It's the
anymore.
spilt milk that you told Aaron Rodgers, in this case, move the cup. Do something different. Get it out of your way. And he didn't do any of those things.
Right.
And then spilled it on purpose on his way out the door. And you're like, it's fine.
Right, but you're putting 1,000,000% of the blame on Aaron Rodgers, and like that's not factually correct.
What am I doing?
You're putting the blame completely on Aaron Rodgers
for his actions in Green Bay. It's 100% his fault,
dude. Like, we can't sit here and act like him showing up to spring, voluntary camp is changing anything.
No, I don't care about the results.
But
you're asking about the results.
That's how this analogy started.
I'm
right?
talking about
because
the
he's
process.
doing the things he wouldn't do.
Right, but you're talking about the results. I'm talking about the process. It is him at everything in New York. Big smile on his face. Pat McAfee, big smile on his face. Not being cryptic. Cuts his hair. Smiling. Talking about he just
Cuts
went,
his hair.
He went back to Aaron Rodgers 3 years ago. That's my point. It's not the results of would they won more games. It is why did he have to be. What is the biggest issue Packer fans have with Aaron Rodgers the last couple of years? His diva and drama. And he's left all that in Green Bay. And if I'm a Packer fan, I'm furious because I didn't deserve it.
But
Packer fans did not deserve
that's exactly
that crap
the point,
from Aaron Rodgers.
But that's exactly the point. Let's go back to our toxic relationship analogy, right? Is because this was a two-sided argument. Rodgers was pissed at the organization.
He's a grown-ass man that can act like a man and not be a giant baby.
But so
the Packer fans didn't deserve this.
But does Mark Murphy act like a grown-ass man?
The Packers were not personal with it. They made business decisions that Aaron Rodgers didn't like. Aaron Rodgers got in his feelings and purposely decided. Again, back to the relationship analogy, he decided, I'm going to act like this because I don't like how I was treated. The Packers may have not made the right business decision and may have hurt his feelings with their business decisions, but those were business decisions. Aaron Rodgers made it personal and acted like a baby, and Packer fans do not deserve that. And Packer fans should be infuriated that Aaron Rodgers chose to act like a giant baby his last few years in Green Bay. Regardless of what happened on the field, you didn't deserve that drama. And the number one thing that Packer fans say when they say they were happy Aaron Rodgers was gone is, I'm sick of the drama. And he was the problem, to quote Taylor Swift.
I can appreciate a good Taylor Swift quote. But let's keep in mind what happened, right? Let's not just say Aaron Rodgers is pissed about nothing. They were in an NFC Championship game in 2019. What'd they do in the draft? They moved up the draft as replacement. Who wouldn't be pissed about that? Who wouldn't be?
A man who is a grown man who's confident enough in his skin because he won a Super Bowl and won an MVP, and he could go out there and, if nothing else, control his action. Don't sign your contract. Don't sign the extension. Show up, put a smile on your face. What did Tom Brady do in New England? He let his contract ride out, and we didn't know until he was gone that he was going. Act like a man, be Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers continues to prove he is lesser and lesser than a man like Tom Brady. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
Woo!
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. The NFL draft has come to a close, and two former Badgers are headed to the Steel City. Nose tackle Keanu Benton and linebacker Nick Herbig were each selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers over the weekend, and they joined three other former Badgers already on the Steelers roster, including T.J. Watt, Scott Nelson, and Isaiah Loudermilk. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin on the Wisconsin pipeline.
You know, sometimes a place like Wisconsin is a stylistic match. Always had a lot of respect for Jim Leonard. They do a lot of similar things that we do.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. That means the best place to look at for a new Bronco, Ford F-150, Ford Edge, Ford Escape, Ford Explorer, or any other Ford, including service on your Ford, is Metro Ford of Madison. Browse their inventory at metrofordofmadison.com.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here. Whether I'm inside on the ice curling or outside working up a sweat under the sun, Iron Jock apparel is what keeps me feeling cool and comfortable. The one-of-a-kind Enduratech fabric is designed from the inside out to eliminate odor-causing bacteria. And based in Wisconsin, Iron Jock also created the Enduratech Plus gear to perform both indoors and outdoors. You can go online to ironjock.com and get 25% off your order using code ESPN25. Iron Jock, it's what's inside that matters.
Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home. Roofing, windows, gutters, siding, and decks. Can Legacy do it? You bet. Better prices, better warranties. Legacy always makes it easy. Go to legacy-exteriors.com. Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm Vice President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
You got to chill.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
I will do my best to be as articulate as Matt was when I answer my question here about Alan Lazard.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton.
All right, boys. Take care. Be good.
With Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
Perfect timing for Jason Wilde to be joining the show as Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show. When told that he's really spinning it out there in New York, he replies with, "I think I can spin it well for a long time." Jason, we had some discussions here, and thanks for joining the show.
That's the word we're going to use?
I may have ranted. And everyone handles things differently, but I just think Packer fans deserve better than what Aaron Rodgers gave them the last couple of years, because Packer fans, I think, were most upset, I'm talking off the field, with the drama from Aaron Rodgers. They all were willing to appreciate or take the drama with how great he played, and then obviously that drama overshadows play last year, and the Packers seized the opportunity to move on. But to see him in New York, embracing the city, embracing his teammates, embracing maybe playing longer, embracing the organization, like, it bothers the hell out of me because Packer fans should have gotten more out of Aaron Rodgers. There was no reason. He gave all he could as a player, but there was no reason. He purposely chose to act this way, the way he did the last few years. And that was clearly, he was just pouting here, and now he's making it very clear, now that he's happy, he'll give you everything you ever want. And that annoys the bejesus out of me, but maybe I'm a bad person, Jason.
Hi. How are you guys today?
I'm good. We wanted to set it up for you.
Yeah, coming in hot here, Wilde.
Yeah, I don't know if I will go as far as you will or did. I was not tuned in.
That's right.
For your, I'll check that out on Wisconsin On Demand. But I would be curious if, to what degree, Rodgers was kind of like that guy who's in a relationship with someone that he's kind of lost his enthusiasm for. And I'm not saying that he felt that way about all of his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being pulled over for that.
Yeah, I was just about to ask what the hell's going on.
Ambulance passing by, so they're obviously flushed to help someone. So sorry, I was a little distracted. I want to make sure I got it out of the way. I think it was a relationship that was going nowhere. Like, one of those couples that has either been married for a long time and one side is kind of checked out a little bit, or the other side has been so obnoxious that someone who used to give the relationship everything that they had is no longer willing to do so, whatever it might have been. I don't think there's any denying that, the guys at a Knicks Heat game and a Devils-Rangers game in the same weekend. He's at the entirety of the off-season program. He's agreeing to take part in some sort of Hard Knocks style documentary that they're doing on their website. Who are you and what have you done with Aaron Rodgers of the last couple of years? Right? If I'm a Packers fan, I would completely be irritated with it. But to your point, look, I don't care if he goes to a basketball game or not. He went to a Bucs game and was trounced by David Bakhtiari on the beer chugging thing. But I would be really bothered by the off-season program part of this, because I was, for all the grief I take for not being critical enough of him over the years, I'm not sure anybody was as critical of him as I was for not taking part in last year's off-season program. There was no excuse. None. Zero. Zilch. Zip. 2020, COVID, no one had an off-season. 2011, CBA negotiations, nobody had an off-season. 2021, you're pissed at the world, especially Goody and the Packers, so you're demonstrating how pissed you are. You don't come to the off-season. I'm even fine with that one. But 2005 through 2010 and 2012 through 2019, the only time you missed anything at the off-season program was when the head coach excused you and other veterans from taking part so they could focus on young players. Otherwise, you said the same things about the off-season program then as you're saying about the off-season program now with the Jets. You were saying how important it was to be around your teammates and to do things that bring you together off the field. You were talking about how valuable the work was with young players. And then last year, you did the exact opposite. So, yeah, to Jim's point, and again, not knowing to what degree his raving went, he's right. I think he's absolutely right, and I don't think there's anything wrong as a Packers fan if you are critical of him when you juxtapose last offseason with this offseason and how he acted with the Packers compared to the way he's acting with them. He's clearly found a new relationship, and he is in big-time love, whereas he certainly had fallen out of love to some degree with the organization, maybe because they fell in love with Love, who they don't really seem to love quite as much as they wanted us to think they love.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Very true. I would agree with most of the latter half of your statement there, Jason. Look, as a Packers fan, I really don't care, right? I understand the importance of the offseason program, but I don't think it's as important as maybe we play it up to be, right? Like, I don't think they become an 11-win team last year if he's there with Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs. I don't think it moves the needle as much as maybe we play it up to be. But ultimately, go to New York, get a haircut, be happy. I don't give a damn. We're flipping the page. We're on to Jordan Love, and that's where I'd like to go with you next, Jason, is obviously – No, go ahead.
Wait, I don't think they're an 11-win team if he comes to the offseason program either. I think they're a 12-win team if Devontae Adams is gone.
I agree with that.
But are they one more win team than they were last year if Aaron Rodgers comes to the offseason program?
I vote no.
I think because here's the thing. I think they win in Detroit. Let's just take that one.
Sure.
Right? If there is any residual effect of him going to the offseason program, if it's Sammy Watkins knowing what the signal is, because Sammy Watkins, the other problem with the offseason program,
he wasn't there either.
When Rodgers didn't show up, then nobody did, because the leader didn't go, so everyone else was like, well, unless you had a lucrative workout bonus, you did not come to the offseason program as a veteran last year. Like, Aaron Jones came, but he had like a $700,000 workout bonus. Right. So, of course he did.
Right.
Kenny Clark, same thing. Preston Smith, same thing. So, if it's the difference between one game being a win instead of a loss, that's also the difference for last year's team of being in the playoffs and not. So, again, I don't think time spent with your teammates is ever wasted time. I was critical of him then. I'm just as critical, if not more so now, because now he is preaching exactly what I was preaching last offseason when he wasn't doing it. Now he's doing it for another team, and he's preaching all the things that we said were valuable about the offseason. Now, on to Jordan Love.
That's well said. I agree. Now, you mentioned it. This seems like the Packers aren't really in love with Love, right? They're kind of hedging their bets with this extension, only $13 million guaranteed rather than what around $20 which is what the fifth-year option would have been had they picked it up. What does this tell you, Jason, that of what the Packers feel about Jordan Love? What does this extension tell you?
Well, if we're going to keep up with relationships.
I like it. I love a good analogy.
Yeah, well, I'm not the expert on those. Tausch is by far better than I am at that. But if we're gonna use relationships, this is engaged to be engaged, right?
Yeah.
This is like the emerald ring that you give instead of the diamond baguette. That's a legit engagement ring. This is boy, I sure like you a lot, and I really hope things work out between us, because I could definitely see myself marrying you. But then there's this girl on Instagram I saw, and boy, she's really hot. I kind of like her. But she's not available now, but she might be available next year in the draft. Her name is Drake May. I think this is good. I was not a believer that they would do this. I thought they would either decline the option or give it to him to send the message that, hey, we are 100% behind you. And I never got to the end of Breaking Bad because it felt to me like every character was a villain to some degree, and I like good guys versus bad guys. But there's a line in there about no half measures. This is a distinctive half measure, right? It gives the player a measure of security that if he were to suffer a catastrophic injury this season, or if he were to play really, really, really badly, at least he got $10.5 million more guaranteed than he was already supposed to get. Because remember, his base salary for this year was already guaranteed as part of his original deal. So that's $3 million there. So he's really only getting $10.5 more million, which is still a lot, no doubt about it, of guaranteed money given to him. But it's certainly a lot less than the $20.7 million or $20.3 million that he would have been guaranteed in 2024 with the fifth-year option. I was telling Homer and Tony this a minute ago. When I'm done with you guys, I'm going to reach out to Rob Demonski, because I would be curious if his folks at ESPN Stats and Information can tell us how many times a player who was under consideration for a fifth-year option got this type of, for lack of a better term, placeholder contract? Because it's not like a full-fledged, 4 years, $85 million, like you might have given an edge rusher or something. And it's not the fifth-year option. It's half that. It's something in between. And so I'd be curious how many times this has happened, because you look back on the Packers' history with the fifth-year option, and in 2012 they drafted Nick Perry, and Nick Perry had his option declined after his third season. So did Derek Sherrod the year before. So did Dayton Jones the year after. But then he had a good enough season where they signed him to a one-year deal. He played on that in what would have been his fifth season. Played really well then, got himself a big contract, and then wasn't very good anymore and didn't even make it through that contract. So this is something that I have not seen done before. I do think it's really smart. I think it's a win for the Packers that they bought themselves some time without the major commitment that they would have had to give with the fifth-year option.
Derek Sherrod and Dayton Jones are two names I never thought I would hear again, Jason. Thanks for that.
It's crazy. They have, you go beyond them, and they give HaHa Clinton Dix the fifth-year option, but then they trade him.
And they traded him, yeah.
Away at the trade deadline. Kenny Clark got it and deserved it. They didn't have a first-round pick at 17 because they traded out and did not take T.J. Watt, who, oh, by the way, got the fifth-year option and then came to camp and was basically like, look, man, I ain't playing for just a one-year guarantee. I want a full deal. I'm not practicing until you pay me, which was totally smart of him. And then Jair picked it up. Both guys last year, Rashawn Gary and Darnell Savage, they pick it up, although I think they probably regret the Savage one.
No doubt.
And now here we are.
Fascinating.
Jason, two questions. We took up all our time with you. We appreciate you taking the time to hop on the show.
Always for you guys. All right, take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. That is a winning interview from Jason Wilde.
He's
You
the
can
man.
go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, over $10 million in jackpots last month alone. In April. It's now May. Still winners happening at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here. For close to 155 years, Leinie's has stayed true to the Jacob Leinekugel's vision for combining German brewing traditions of his homeland with innovative spirit of his new home here in Wisconsin. Today, you'll find that spirit alive and well inside their wide range of German-inspired beers. From shandies to IPAs, Weiss to Bocks, they've got the beer for any flavor and any moment. You'll find me out on the water this summer drinking some nice summer shandies from Leinekugel's beer. You must be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Bring the entire family for affordable fun with on-site camping, free parking, and free admission for kids 16 and younger. Well, the Packers had until today to give Jordan Love his fifth-year option, and the team chose option 3 by instead signing the 24-year-old quarterback to a one-year, $22.5 million extension through the 2024 season. That deal includes $13.5 million guaranteed, and that extension is worth just over $1.5 million more than what would have been fully guaranteed by Love's $20.7 million fifth-year option total. Head over to ESPNWisconsin.com. There you can read Rob Domofsky's article breaking down the details of this contract and how it affects Love and the Packers moving forward. The Brewers also start a 6-game road trip today. They'll have a 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies before heading out to San Francisco to play the Giants later in the week. That first game against the Rockies starts tonight at 7:40 p.m. Central Time. Second hour of Rutledge and Hamilton starting right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit MetroKiaofMadison.com.
You got to chill.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
But I knew with a new team that I'm going to have to be here a little bit more just to get to know the guys, let them feel the cadence, and start to step into the leadership role that is going to be open for my seamless transition there as a quarterback. So definitely wanted to be here.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio with Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
We doing a show today?
People like me. I'm doing a lot of things. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Mountain Blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light like Rutledge crushed that open.
Alrighty. I crushed my Aaron Rodgers take. And even though Jason Wilde didn't even hear it, he knows it's right.
But he nailed, did you notice how he nailed 3 of our analogies we had used earlier in the show, and he mentioned he hadn't been listening? I don't believe him.
Oh, I don't think we're that clever in our analogies, is really.
No, you're right. But to even go as far as to say, a girl on Instagram.
Oh, that was a bit on the mark,
that's where I was like, huh.
He's Alex Strofe. I'm Jim Rutledge. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, live from the Spark Building. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. We have 2 Iron Talk poll questions up there. First one is, what word would you use to describe the Packers' 1-year extension with Jordan Love? 53% of you say win-win. 32% of you say hedge, which is kind of the same thing. 7%, or we'll round it up, 8% say mistake, 8% say genius. So I think for the most part, people are calling this, really it's hedge, because to me, win-win and hedge is the same.
For anybody keeping track at home, by the way, the percentages you just read off add up to 101%.
I rounded up, so that's
just giving you a hard time.
And then the other one here, are you glad Aaron Rodgers seems happier in New York than he was during his final season in Green Bay? 59% of you say no, tired of his feelings.
Really?
Yes. It reminds me of, Olivia Rodrigo? Good for you.
Yeah, that's a great
I hope
song,
you're happy and healthy.
Street Whiskey chimes in on that poll on Twitter, and I like this response. Everyone wants to feel wanted regardless of how much money you have. Now, is there a point to Rodgers didn't feel wanted by Green Bay? There's a case to be made.
Okay.
But that case should have been, and I'm on Team Rutledge here, so you don't need to get defensive. That case should have been over. Rodgers should have felt wanted after he signed a 3-year extension last spring.
I think sometimes people like to say there's a letter in the alphabet followed by the words your feelings. And honestly, you know what? Part of that contract, Aaron Rodgers, is blank your feelings. You have to show up, and you have to be the same person you always have been when you're showing up for a job. And it's not just, think about it in your own workplace. You show up, especially now, in today's changing work climate, more so than ever, you show up for your job and you crush it. What are some of our core values here? And forget even core values. One of the things you're judged upon here at Good Karma is, are you being a good teammate? Yeah. That is one of the things in your annual review that they will go over with you. If you go out and do your job, but you're an asshat, that's going to affect you at Good Karma and plenty of workplaces. And it's because they know that there is, at a bare minimum, a subconscious drain on the morale if someone is out there not carrying their weight. Jason Wilde referenced it. Sammy Watkins and other guys didn't show up. You can look at it 2 ways. And one way is say, oh, well, they didn't show up, so why would Aaron show up? No. Aaron is the leader. Aaron's supposed to be there. With great contracts and great prestige and great praise comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
And Aaron Rodgers skirted that responsibility. Did it cost the Packers the playoffs? That's not far-fetched. That's what Jason Wilde implied a little bit there. That's not too far out of pocket to say. Aaron Rodgers shows up and is happy and shows up for all the volunteer stuff and is just more engaged and has a better attitude throughout. That couldn't get you one more touchdown in the Lions game? Is that insane to say? No, it's not insane. You can't prove it, but it's not something out of left field. It is something that is kind of understandable.
So not game. He made sure he pointed out it was not game 17. the game at Lambeau against Detroit. He said the game at Detroit, which Ryan, I think, brought up yesterday as a game that maybe could have changed that result, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But I do disagree with the fact that it changes the outcome of last season. Last season's team, even if they would have gotten into the playoffs, was not a playoff team. They were a bad football team. They were 8-9, and that was probably better than they.
Probably still here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Jordan Love signs the same contract?
That's an incredibly interesting question. If they made the playoffs, is he still here?
But
it changes how that offseason went.
And I've been saying this for a long time, and I know my regular co-host Matt Hamilton falls under the same trap that you're doing. I don't care about what the Packers did. You, as the leader of the team, the most prestigious player on the team, the best player on the team, one of the best players in the NFL, you control your reactions to things. You control your own actions to things. No matter how put upon you feel, no matter how unloved you feel, no matter what your feelings say, you're getting paid that money and you're being looked to as a leader to lead, which means show up and be the same player off the field that you've been for most of your career, which is showing up to voluntary things, which is being engaged, which isn't taking pot shots at your teammates on the Pat McAfee show or in press conferences, referencing retirement after every single year. None of those things were productive. Maybe they weren't negative, but none of them were productive. And why are they back in the spotlight right now? Because we're seeing that Aaron Rodgers did it on purpose. Because from the second he has arrived in New York, he has been the old Aaron Rodgers. And that, to me, is what would drive me insane as a Packers fan. Because if I'm, as a parent, or as someone in a relationship, I get mad at purposeful. I get mad at intent. If you are purposely being obtuse, if you're purposely being mean or angry or just choosing to be difficult, that's what bothers me. If you are reacting in the moment and that's how you're feeling for a minute or for an hour or so, fine. But if you're still choosing to be angry and mad, especially if you're Aaron Rodgers, who's all about changing your mindset, then change your own damn mindset and come into Green Bay with a smile on your face and act like you used to, because you're capable of it because you just did it in New York. That's what would infuriate me if I'm a Packer fan.
Well, but I don't think that's accurate, right? Like, to say he's just capable of putting a smile on his face, because, again, there's more than a two-way street than maybe we're portraying it as, right?
No,
like,
he controls his actions.
He
has
controls
control
his
over
actions,
that.
absolutely. However, so did the Green Bay Packers front office.
That was business. He's making it personal.
But a business decision of not helping your team get over the hump of the NFC Championship game that you're in by drafting a quarterback in the first round and trading up to do it is
Aaron Rodgers' attitude productive?
Do we fully look at that as a business decision?
But if
because
Aaron
you have
Rodgers
said it time and time again, Jim, that may go down as the worst draft pick in Packers
history.
history.
But if Aaron Rodgers is all about winning,
it's a crappy business decision.
What could Aaron Rodgers do? If he's all about winning, it's still more productive for Aaron Rodgers to show up and be the old Aaron Rodgers of old than for him to show up and be a big baby. That is factual. That is still more productive.
But the what he a big did was not isn't accurate. I mean,
Brat.
But how? Last year?
You could see it. He purposely changed. He purposely came in with a tone of, I don't like what's going on. You can see it when you look at him today.
But did we like what was going on? Absolutely not. We analyzed that.
We are not the leader of the Green Bay Packers. We are not getting paid millions of dollars. That's what the money's for. You show up and you do your job and you be a good teammate.
But he did. He did show up and do his job. Won him 8 games. He played with a broken
That's his job. His job was to win 8 games.
His job was to play. And he played fine.
Again, our job description here isn't just show up and do a radio show or show up and do sales. It's also show up and be a good, productive teammate.
Yes, but that is maybe not in Aaron Rodgers' contract. But to say he's not a good teammate is also probably inaccurate. Was he a good teammate to Amari Rodgers? Absolutely not. But
forget. I'm not going micro. I'm going macro. As Wildy touched on, you don't show up for voluntary workouts. Who doesn't show up for voluntary workouts? Sammy Watkins. You're not leading.
Randall Cobb was there, and he didn't even have a bonus. He was there to
He's
be a good
leader.
Teammate. Right.
Be a leader. You're getting paid millions. You used to be a leader, Aaron Rodgers, and now you're a leader again in New York. And that should infuriate Packer fans that he's picking and choosing when he wants to be a leader and when he doesn't. And he chose the last 2+ years in Green Bay not to be a leader. You know what you can do, and who's always a leader, and who you can choose and trust to be around is my friends at Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy Wealth Management, they take the time to truly get to know and understand the dynamics of your values, goals, and plans for your family. No family fits a generic mold, and neither should your financial plan. That's why you need to go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. We're going to throw some stones next.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Jim Rutledge here, and thanks to Carbon World Health, I'm not your run-of-the-mill Jim. I'm stronger and healthier than I've ever been thanks to my friends at Carbon World Health. My journey started with the 6-week experience. You should do the same. You'll get a consultation with Dr. Nestor Rodriguez, a training plan just for you, cryo treatments, blood work, just to name a few things. I am the fittest, healthiest, and lightest I've been in years thanks to the team at Carbon World Health. Sign up today at carbonworldhealth.com.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. Looking for a team to play for in the spring and summer of 2024? Rays tryouts begin in July and August, and sign-ups are open now. Since 2010, the Rays have developed over 370 college players, including over 140 committed to play Division I baseball and 17 MLB draft picks. Rays baseball. Raise your game.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors.
I want to be here the first week to get to know the guys and to go through the workouts and be around, and then I have some things planned. I got to miss a few days, but it's been good to be out here with all the guys, and I think guys feel the energy that I've been bringing and that I kind of bring on a daily basis, and I think there's a lot of excitement around here.
That was Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee Show, talking about why
he's so happy.
He is. Why he's there. You didn't hear any of it. You wandered off.
I was there. What are you talking about?
You were out there.
Prove it.
Tell me what Aaron just said.
Aaron was talking about New York, like Frank Sinatra.
Jeremiah Madison chimes in. Do you want him, Aaron Rodgers, to be happy surrounded by losers? You give Alex crap when he misses a bounce back. But, Jeremiah, I read that one on purpose because, Alex, I feel comfortable saying this. You know that when I'm giving you crap, it's not about, the show and oh, my leading looks bad or whatever.
Wait,
it's about
what?
He's bound. I think he's talking about like playing audio or
gotcha,
that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But the point being is, I give you crap there on purpose. You know, from also I'm just trying to hold you the same standard I'm holding myself to get you better. And you know that from the time we've been doing the shows together.
You're such a leader.
But my point is, you are what you've earned wherever you're at.
So Rodgers has earned the right to not go to the voluntary spring camps.
He does not earn the benefit of the doubt. I think there's some some players have the hand signal thing, that some of that stuff comes out that's already come out. Players necessarily didn't feel, I think, the same as they did about Aaron Rodgers a few years ago. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is fair to say, was a lesser of an engaged leader. And the Packers were even quoted off the record saying passive leadership was part of the problem they had with Aaron Rodgers.
He was operating under the premise that the standard is the standard, and he doesn't need to set the standard or explain the standard. The standard is the standard. Clearly, that didn't work at the end. We can agree on that.
But my point being, it's more than that. It's about how are you approaching things. Barry Bonds, or for example here, Aaron Rodgers gets more crap for the stuff he does, or Jay Cutler got more crap for the stuff he did as opposed to Aaron Rodgers because of
I don't think that's accurate.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers is the biggest target in sports today, bar none.
Jay Cutler was, and he wasn't anywhere close to being talented enough to be that guy.
Right, but at a Chicago level, sure, Cutler may have been a bigger villain. But nationally, Rodgers.
Were you not aware when Jay Cutler tore his MCL and players were burying him on social media? He was the butt of everything, and he was actually hurt. He got destroyed, and he was injured because he was on the sideline.
Yeah, I know this.
But again, you're splitting the hairs that are not important. My point being, your attitude and your actions are how you're going to be reflected. Aaron Rodgers has earned every bit of the crap he got. Same with Jay Cutler.
Sure.
But Aaron Rodgers has not earned the benefit of the doubt, a benefit of the doubt as a leader when you don't show up for crap. And when players start whispering that maybe you're more passive than you should be as a leader, and your team starts saying it, you have earned the crap that's coming your way, and you have not earned goodwill. Let's throw some stones.
Is he still dating Mallory Edens? Do we know?
Was he ever?
I thought they were.
I don't know if that was official.
I have no clue. That wasn't in stones for today.
Who cares?
Oh, okay.
The guys live in glass houses, but that's never stopped them before.
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
It's time to throw some stones.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
On Rutledge and Hamilton, brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
So it is time to throw some stones here on Rutledge and Hamilton. We've obviously been throwing some big stones at Aaron Rodgers today, but well, one of us has been. But I, each and every day, waste a lot of time.
One of us got some big stones, I know.
Yes, the one with the biggest stones. Well, we'll see if you can win stones today. I've had some questions I've curated from Twitter today. You, Jim, and Alex have answers. You.
Okay.
Jim, you.
Me, Jim.
I'll score the answers throughout, and at the end, we'll crown a winner of throwing stones. So, first thing I saw today that was a bit more disconcerting than Aaron Rodgers talking about his new situation in New York. Jeffrey Hinton, who is known as the godfather of AI, that's artificial intelligence, has quit Google after over a decade, expressing regret over his life's work and warning of dangers ahead. He said, quote, "I console myself with the normal excuse, if I hadn't done it, somebody else would have." Guys, have we gone too far with ChatGPT and artificial intelligence? And is this going to be something that we're going to regret in 20 years from now? Strofe?
The regret part of it, maybe. But have we gone too far with it? Not yet. We will, because we go too far with everything. That's welcome to America, right? Look, I think ChatGPT can be useful. It can be. Writing your college thesis, probably not what you should use that for. But I don't know. There are certainly uses for it. Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, you have used it on Wildy and Tausch because Tausch is fascinated by the idea of ChatGPT. I think there's fun there.
There's fun to be had, and there's possible people to be replaced by machines as well, but I don't know.
I don't know about that because it's not like they're predicting the future or, their database, a lot of the ones I've used, I've tried to use every one available, Google, ChatGPT, and then the Snapchat version. Most of them don't have a lot of knowledge of anything that's happened within the last 5 years. It's all pre-2017. I asked all three of them what the New York Jets record was in 2022. All three of them told me they won 0 games. So it's still not there yet. Anyway.
At least we can't be replaced here on throwing stones.
Facts.
So I think it'll be like the internet, where there's a lot of good from it. There are people who probably aren't as connected as they would have been without the internet. Social media, it has positives. It's hard to believe, but there's plenty of people who their only connection to the outside world is through social media. And if they're having healthy connections out there through social media, then that's keeping them connected somehow to the world. And I do think it allows, in its best case scenario, the internet and social media, for people to be connected, share good ideas. They've helped save people. It's helped overthrow bad governments. It's helped do a lot of things. It's helped mark people safe. It's helped do a lot of things. It's got a lot of nastiness to it, too. And I think that's what this is, too. There's going to be a lot of nastiness, a lot of misuse, a lot of people craving power, misusing it, turning people against each other, and doing a lot of nasty things. But I think the good will still outweigh the bad. As far as the jobs things, we've never fully automated anything. What's going to happen is, you're right, maybe the person manufacturing might be a little bit less and less, but then there's going to be someone else hired to monitor all these things. So it's just different jobs. Maybe the old, people have a hard time wrapping their brain around that sometimes. You might not always have the same jobs forever. We're not laying a lot of railroad tracks anymore. Doesn't mean there's less jobs, just means there's different jobs.
Well, speaking of monitoring, Jim, you bring up, sports books are apparently snitching on NFL players who gamble. That's according to Pro Football Talk. The NFLPA sent an email alerting players to the fact that gambling apps can monitor their activity, and it was part of that monitoring that the NFL learned of the players using the apps at work, which is a violation of the NFL's gambling policy, those players being Quintez Cephas, Jamison Williams from the Lions, and a few others, I believe one from the Atlanta Falcons as well. So, guys, what do we think of the NFL playing a little bit of Big Brother with monitoring players' activity on gambling apps? Jim, I'll start with you.
You know my feeling on this. I do think that if my perfect world, you should be able to gamble on everything but the sport you're playing, and wherever you want to gamble on it. If you're on an app, clearly you shouldn't be on your phone on the sideline anyways. It's just going to get you cut as a player to begin with. So that's going to regulate itself. And if you're getting treatment, I've said this before, if you're getting treatment, you're in the building, you're there for a long time, teams want you in that building. Well, if you want to place a bet on the Knicks game tonight, and you play for the Giants, and you're in East Rutherford, place the bet. I don't care. I think it's a little bit, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's Pollyanna. I think it's counterintuitive to how much billions of dollars the NFL makes off betting. Just don't bet on your sport. That's my stance on betting in sports in general for athletes.
Disagree. It's high time that the NFL takes responsibility for the gambling activity of its players. With the rise of online sports betting, it's becoming increasingly easier for players to get involved with gambling activities that could compromise the integrity of any game. By monitoring gambling activity, the NFL can protect both its players and the league from the dangers of sports betting. Plus, it sends a strong message to fans that the league takes sportsmanship and fair play seriously. It's been time for the NFL to step up and take action to ensure the game remains untarnished by the influence of gambling. ChatGPT.
Wow. I was about to say, was that from the NFL itself? Was that Roger Goodell's statement?
That was me asking ChatGPT to write me a response to that question.
Wow. All comes
not
full
bad.
circle.
Not bad.
That's very quick. That's very well done. I should have ChatGPT write my questions for us.
He should.
I should co-host with ChatGPT.
Yeah,
you just did.
We can make that work.
Better.
Well, the final stone I have here today, guys. The Memphis Grizzlies informed pending free agent Dylan Brooks. That's Dylan Brooks, who got a bit of a spat with LeBron James during the Grizzlies Memphis Lakers. Los Angeles Lakers first round series in the playoffs. There's a bit of back and forth, a little of trash talk in between games. But the Memphis Grizzlies have informed Brooks that he will not be brought back, quote, under any circumstances, according to a report from Shams Charania. Strofe, what do you think about the Memphis Grizzlies telling Dylan Brooks that, hit the road?
Yeah.
There's no room for you here in Memphis anymore.
I don't really get it, right? So I think it's a little harsh to say. What was the term they used?
Under no circumstances.
That's wild to me. That even if it was a cheap deal, because he's a decent player. He's a good player. I would actually go that far. There's got to be some underlying issues here, right? Because he obviously, the trash talk with LeBron was stupid. It was idiotic. He made himself look foolish, and then he dodged the media after he had talked that trash and lost games. But Memphis, I don't know. There's got to be more to this story, is my opinion on this.
I hope so, because otherwise this under no circumstance thing is crap. Memphis has created a culture of, and I'm fine with it, of being these trash-talking badasses, and we're just not going to take anything from anyone. And it was the whole team mentality. We talk about team culture. And maybe Dylan went a little far with it, and yeah, I should have been more accountable. But I'm sorry, not answering questions to the media is not a under no circumstances will we bring you back sort of thing. Memphis is drawing a weird line, so unless there's something else out there, I think it's very foul and dumb of Memphis to say under any circumstances, because there's nothing that Dylan Brooks has done that we know of that would warrant him not being re-signed under any circumstances. You know who needs a guy like Dylan Brooks? Bucks.
Bucks could use a lot.
Oh, but we've already filled our players I don't like quota. Grayson Allen's still on the team.
Trade Grayson Allen. Do a sign and trade Grayson Allen away.
You know where they got Grayson Allen from?
The Memphis Grizzlies?
Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Maybe it all. Yeah, maybe that's
we go full circle.
Apple didn't fall far from the tree. I don't know. They have Tyus Jones there too, another former Duke player.
Yeah,
former
I'm good without Tyus.
Badgers killer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe stock up, get him, Grayson, Dylan Brooks.
Stop talking.
All right, Sunshine. Jeez. But seriously, a guy like Brooks would.
No, you're right. I mean, it brings some flair. It'd be an interesting signing, but
some onions to the team.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to.
Can I just quickly on the Bucks? There's a lot of rumors of Middleton. A lot of teams interested in him.
Yeah,
could be. I would say like a sign and trade thing because he could opt out. The Bucks could then.
Yeah, it's a player option, right?
Yeah, and then the Bucks could then sign him and then trade him.
True.
I'm a little more worried about Drew Holiday.
Yeah. I
don't love that he says he wants to retire after his contract.
In 2 years.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I kind of want to say then maybe we shouldn't have you here.
Maybe it's time to move off.
And then the Budenholzer one we have to put on hold for a while. We have to kind of take our time to look at that. With the news about his brother, I don't know how I kind of reconcile that, working through that as far as his coaching. It does affect how I could feel about how that series went. Still not great, but I think that he probably keeps his job.
Well, if the Bucks need some winners, they should call Jim Rutledge.
Chat GPT can't do this, which is in your face. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Gold medalist Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Wisconsin's best choice for roofing, siding, windows, and doors, Ridgetop Exteriors. I know they're the trusted local experts who consider customer service their #1 goal, but don't just take my word for it. Jake and Dawn are both recent customers who left 5-star reviews for the outstanding service and quality of work on their projects. Get a free estimate for your home project today by logging on to ridgetopexteriors.com. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about X Golf Madison, and the most important thing that you need to know is that X Golf Madison is for everyone. I golf there. Whether you're a seasoned pro, a new golfer, or in between like me, X Golf Madison is going to be fun for you. They have a full bar, excellent service, great food, and the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world. You can play one of their 50 courses available, take lessons from a PGA pro, hit the driving range, or even join a league. Stop by their East Madison or Middleton location today, or visit them online at xgolfwisconsin.com.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5-Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5-Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5-Star Painting, a neighborly company.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
4-star quarterback commit to the University of Wisconsin. It is Mabry Matoyer. Tell Badgers fans, what are they getting in Mabry Matoyer?
I'm a dual-threat quarterback. When we need a first down, like, I'm the man to give the ball. You know, like,
put the balls in my hands and I'll make something happen.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, Nations Lending, and the Great Dane.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking. By you. Donate at V.org. Because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Looking to make an impact in your community? Consider applying to become a mentor with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County currently serves nearly 500 children and has over 200 waiting to be matched with a mentor like you. No skills are required, just a desire to make a difference in the lives of children. Make a big impact. Volunteer today at bbbsmadison.org to complete your application. That's bbbsmadison.org. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County. Together, we are defenders of potential.
Stoughton Health provides comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton community and the entire Madison area. From our sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to our renowned ortho team with Dr. Ravel, Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
Everything's new and exciting and fun. I'm just pinching myself a lot of days. I can't believe it's real sometimes. So it's been a dream for sure.
Dude, I kind of love it. It's funny, but I'm tired of it as people keep on chiming in saying I'm madder than they are. Fine, you don't have to be mad. I just would be mad if I was a Packers fan. And Aaron Rodgers sure looks like a guy that willingly was a turd last year in the last few years.
A turd?
With the team. He can play all the good football he wants, but his personality was best described as a turd.
That's so wrong.
I'm not. You saw him here.
I know I did, Jim,
outwardly.
But to sit here and say he was a turd is just.
He was outwardly a turd. He threw teammates under the bus. Always talked about retirement.
Only Rodgers.
Romeo Dobbs and the hand signal things. He would call out.
But I tend to agree with him on that, right? Like if you have beef, don't go to a publication instead of Rodgers.
But Rodgers still leader. You go to Romeo and you say, "Hey man, you don't talk about it." That's the thing. You don't talk about Fight Club. Aaron allowed, I think, his pettiness toward the organization to at times bleed into how he acted. I have no idea how he treated the teammates. We'll leave that alone. But I do think, and it's been quoted a couple times, the sin that Aaron Rodgers had in Green Bay was passive leadership. So at a minimum, it does not look like in New York he is passive. But I'm done. If Packer fans are fine with it, and Aaron Rodgers just turned a whole new leaf and nobody seems to care anymore, that's fine and dandy. But I would like to say, Iron Jack poll question, right now 59% of you say no. Blank his feelings as far as Aaron Rodgers and what he's doing with the Jets. You're not happy for him. Screw him. And I think as the year goes along, I think that's going to get worse as Aaron is doing the belt and winning games and smiling.
Am I becoming a Jets fan?
And not talking about honestly, I'm going to say it like this. I don't respect Packer fans that are going to root for Aaron Rodgers this year in New York.
Why not?
Because the way he ended it with Green Bay and the way he's acting. I don't respect it. You should not be rooting for Aaron Rodgers. You can be indifferent to it.
He's been my quarterback for 18 years, Jim.
He's not your quarterback anymore. That's the way I look at it. You can be indifferent to it. That's fine. If you don't want to care, you want to just move on, you be indifferent to it, you just whatever, that's fine.
I don't want him
to
win a
be
Super
mad,
Bowl, but I want him to play well.
No,
I like watching him play good football. He's good at it.
Screw him and the jet he went to New York on. What about you, Ryan? Where are you at with this?
I mean, I've been just kind of done with the situation for a long time. I think, like you said, he was being a turd towards the end in Green Bay, and I just...
Why is that our word? We couldn't do better than turd.
It's an accurate
we
word.
We talk for a
Chris
living.
Chris from Manitowoc Water chimes in. You're right, Jim. Rodgers was a big deuce last year.
A big deuce. And Wiley Nash Scrum Half tweeted me the turd sandwich from South Park, which is a great episode.
He also had the other amazing gif of Dave Chappelle's show, Plankum. That's why.
Plankum.
So, I mean, everyone's got a different fan base to it. But I would not I would just be indifferent to Rodgers. You don't have to actively waste the energy to be negative towards him.
Like you're doing?
But blank him. You think during the year I'm going to care what's going on with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I do.
But only because it's my job.
No,
Like,
I think you're fascinated by Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on.
I think you're refusing.
No, you're projecting things onto me.
I'm not projecting.
No, but here's the thing. I would not. What care in the world would I have about Aaron Rodgers if it wasn't my job to talk about Aaron Rodgers?
If it wasn't your job to talk about Aaron Rodgers, you would still care about what Aaron Rodgers does in New York.
Why?
Because that's you're a Bears fan. He tortured you for the last 15 years.
No. Now you're projecting to me. I do not care. He's gone.
You do care, though.
No, you don't get to tell me how I feel about it. The only reason I care about Aaron Rodgers having success in New York is because it's a major story here. What does Aaron Rodgers in New York have to do anything with my team? Preferably, I would have had him stay and hope that Justin Fields was good enough to beat him. That didn't happen. It's over. Just like I don't. It's for me as a fan, it's done. I don't care what he does in New York.
Yeah, but you're the one that's so upset today and telling people that they should feel a certain way
right, but
towards
that's
Aaron
because
Rodgers.
it's my job.
I understand that.
And I'm not wrong. Look, 60% of people agree with me.
Well, they are just
on
over
Twitter,
it, right? Like I think a lot of the Packers fan base is over it, rather than being angry that he's doing everything that maybe the Packers wanted him to do a year or two ago, right? Like people are just over it. That doesn't mean we want to go see him
That's not the question
fail.
we asked. You didn't say, "Are you over it?" We asked, "Are you happy for him?"
I believe
no.
in the poll question it says, "I'm over his feelings."
Over his feelings, but it basically are asking, "Are you happy that Aaron Rodgers is happy?"
Yeah, but nonetheless, regardless of the poll question,
don't put the look. If you, I can't do my job if we don't talk about Aaron Rodgers.
No, I know that, Jim.
I
That's
do
not
not
what I'm
sit
saying.
around and talk about or hang out or have any discussion about Aaron Rodgers with Bear fans of mine. That I promise you. I do not care. I care about what Justin Fields and what the Packers are going to do.
Well,
absolutely,
I understand.
But I do not care about what Aaron Rodgers would do.
But Aaron Rodgers has been such a staple in your football fandom. But he has been.
But pause for a second. He hasn't, though. I will say this, and I will say it's 100% factual. Brett Favre was a bigger heel, a bigger thorn in my side than Aaron Rodgers ever was, and that has to do with the
bigger heel.
Here's why. The Bears, and this is the Bears' fault, were crap the majority of Aaron Rodgers' time. So I didn't have expectations for the Bears to do anything. There was no heartbreaking. A large chunk of Brett Favre's time in Green Bay was against Lovie Smith, and Lovie Smith fielded teams that were consistently finishing second, winning 9-10 games. That stung. When Brett was beating teams that had a shot to do something, maybe. That stung. Aaron beating dead dog teams that the Bears put out for a long time.
For a majority of his time, sure.
Doesn't sting. I'm not lessening it. He beat the snot out of him. He owned him. He never gave him an inch. But I never had a lot of expectations, and that's the Bears' problem. So, again, and I've said this before, the I own you thing, I can't speak for every Bear fan, didn't bother me because
it's true.
And the team, the Bears were complicit in it, but Aaron still got it done. I mean, there's other teams that have been bad that quarterbacks didn't dominate, like Rodgers dominated the Bears. So this isn't knocking what Rodgers did to the Bears, but there was no expectations for a long time that we were ever beating the Packers. And now that he's gone, great. I hope, as I said before, I hope it's a great rivalry. But I really would have hoped that Chicago would have been good enough to beat Rodgers and the Packers this year. I don't know if it would have happened. We'll never know. But that would have been the ideal.
Let's focus on Love and the Packers, being better than Love and the Packers, because I don't even know if that's in the cards for the Bears.
I have no idea. It might not be.
I don't either. And I don't know.
It really depends on Fields, because I think the Bears actually have a better.
I mean, it depends on both of them, right?
Well, I think the Bears have a better roster, but I do think that
pretty comparable, I would say.
It's going to come down to Fields and Love.
Yeah, and I think you will get your wish. I think it'll be a fun rivalry if Love is the guy, and even if he's not, in the next 10 years, you'll have a new face of the franchise.
Both those teams are probably 6 to 9 win teams.
I would probably put the floor lower, but I would agree with the ceiling of 9 wins. Yeah. Regardless, back to the point. I think every football fan, and not just because you're a Bears fan and not because I'm a Packers fan, I think every football fan has an eye on Aaron Rodgers this year because it is the most fascinating storyline in the NFL. Is Aaron Rodgers is no longer a Green Bay Packer. He's on a new team with a fun young roster. All of us are going to pay attention to Aaron Rodgers. So to sit here and say you won't pay attention to it, I think is incorrect.
Well,
because,
I'm saying,
they're going to be on national television
and
a lot,
I can't
too.
separate the two, but I've said this before. I watch the Bears and the Packers in the NFL, not Chiefs. Like, I'm not a guy who sits around and watches every NFL game. I'm not a big fantasy guy. The NBA is my favorite sport. So it is, and it's a great job, but I can't separate them anymore. I have no idea if I'd be watching Aaron Rodgers and the Jets or care that much about it until maybe the playoff time, but I can't separate it because I will now, because Aaron Rodgers is the biggest story. Aaron Rodgers
that's what I'm saying.
is right.
He's bigger than Mahomes. He's bigger than the Chiefs. He's bigger than all of that. He is the biggest story in the NFL.
Biggest story in Wisconsin.
No, NFL overall.
It very well could be, but again, my job is to talk about it. So I can't separate the two. But as a fan, when I wasn't doing shows, I cared about the Bears and the Packers. Now, the NFL has expanded much farther now, but the last time I remember not doing radio shows is a long-ass time ago.
16 years ago, yep.
It was Bears and Packers. That's what I cared about in the NFL. So that is what I know that I cared about last when I was a fan. The Jets are a major story, and my job is to cover that story. And Aaron, and I don't know what your point of it is, but my whole point is that if I was a Packers fan, and maybe this makes me petty, I've never experienced this. I've never had a player leave after being a jerk or a turd or just go somewhere else. I haven't had that. That's been really meaningful. Jordan was gone for a year or two, and it was more of like a goodbye time.
Yeah, Urlacher retired as a Bear, yep.
So Cubs players, like, baseball's not the same.
Yeah, no.
Like Chris Bryant, Rizzo, and all those guys, all those different places, that's whatever.
Yeah.
So I haven't had it. Jimmy Butler, he was a Bull, but I don't, like, that's not there.
Right.
So I cannot directly tie to it, but I know it would bother me that if it looked like a guy was not all in with my team from a personal standpoint. Clearly Aaron Rodgers gave everything he could as a football player. I will never question that. And as a leader. But I still think passive leadership, and I still think not being fully just positive about it would bother me, because that's my team that you just treated lesser because you're in your feelings.
I think I'd care more if we didn't already know that, right? Like, we already knew that before he was ever gone, before we ever even knew he was going to be gone, right? Like, this was already a foregone conclusion that, yeah, maybe that was the case. But it's Aaron Rodgers, and the term we always use is when it comes to star quarterbacks, the juice is always worth the squeeze, no matter how much baggage comes along with it, right? The drama, the Pat McAfee show, the not showing up to OTAs or the voluntary OTAs, right? Like, that is all worth it when you have Aaron Rodgers. So we already knew all of this, right? Him going to New York and cutting his hair and being happy-go-lucky Aaron Rodgers again really was never a surprise to me. The haircut was the biggest surprise to me, right? Like, I'm not even saying that jokingly. I expected him to flip the switch. He is a little bit not taunted, but I think a little bit scared of, might not be the right term, but you'll get what I'm getting at, of the New York media and how he's perceived. He's always cared about that, right? And he wants to make sure he's starting off on the right foot. So for him to go out to New York and do the OTAs and to make the public appearances and to do every radio show he's asked to do in New York, none of this is surprising to me. I expected this.
Dan Stoughton chimes in with a massive compliment from me. Jim, for someone who doesn't care about something, you certainly have strong opinions towards it and spend a significant time dedicated to talking about it. Well, Dan, as I did say a second ago, it is my job. And it is my job to have opinions. It is my job to try to figure out what people care about. And it is my job, and it's an amazing job. But, yes, I'll stop talking about Aaron Rodgers when everyone stops texting in and calling in when we talk about Aaron Rodgers. Them's the facts, Dan. So you can project all you want that I'm obsessed with Aaron Rodgers. No, our audience is, and I'm reflecting it. Joel and Madison chimes in. Here's their problem. Now the honeymoon will be over soon. Oh, and his $100 million contract will come due after 2024. He's talking about Aaron Rodgers. No, he's going to rework that deal, Joel and Madison. I promise you that's going to be reworked. The Adam and Madison chimes in. I want to see him fail. I want to see all 31 teams that aren't called the Green Bay Packers fail. Every single one of them. That's Adam is my spirit animal as a football fan. Because for me, football is very visceral, more than any other sport. That's part of it too, Alex, as we talk about it. Thanks for the insight there, Adam. That football is, I'm hitting. Like, we are getting after it. Like, it's emotional. Like, I want to see someone hit, and I want to see big plays, and I want to see, if I'm a Packers fan, the belt. And I want to see the Lambeau leap, and I want that all stuck in someone's face.
Look, I don't want the Jets to even make the playoffs, right? I want a better draft pick, because if he plays at least 11 games or whatever the actual number works out to, the Packers get a better draft pick. But would I mind seeing Aaron Rodgers win 5 games and look awesome, but the rest of his team crumble around him? That would be like the ideal scenario.
Would you rather? I guess for me, I'll just make myself Mr. Bitter or whatever. If I'm a Packer fan, I want to see Aaron Rodgers out there missing receivers, throwing his arms up.
I mean, that'd be kind of fun.
And,
You're not wrong.
Just pouting.
You're not wrong.
And then getting in his feelings in the postgame because things aren't going. That it's just a nasty 9-win year.
Would it be fun if they started like 0-3 and then he reverts back to the 2022 era. Like, that would be kind of fun, too. You're right about that.
Yes!
The hate is filling my body.
I got it!
The hate is filling my body.
I've turned him. I brought him to the dark side.
You're right. That would be kind of fun. You're not wrong.
That's all I'm saying. It's football. It's visceral. Like, you want to just, Yes.
It's only May.
Right.
I want it to be August.
But you get it. Like, baseball's not that. Baseball's like, we're all going to have some popcorn and watch 10,000 innings of baseball. Basketball, look, it's a long-ass season. These guys have to try really hard. It's not really locked into the playoffs. Same with hockey. But football is just like, screw that other guy. Plank him. That's why. That's football.
Football!
You been
watching any hockey?
No. Football's Iron Jock. Iron Jock, like, just, I'm a strong, sweaty guy, but Iron Jock makes me not stinky. I can be strong and not stink thanks to the friends at Iron Jock. Go to ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com. And you can use the promo code 2T1FREE now through May 14th and get some men's performance T-shirts. I wear these when I work out at Carbon Health. They are fantastic. You go get them. Again, use the code 2T1FREE at ironjock.com. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. The NFL Draft has come to a close, and two former Badgers are headed to the Steel City. Nose tackle Keanu Benton and linebacker Nick Herbig were each selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers over the weekend, and they joined three other former Badgers already on the Steelers roster, including TJ Watt, Scott Nelson, and Isaiah Loudermilk. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin on the Wisconsin pipeline.
You know, sometimes a place like Wisconsin is a stylistic match. Always had a lot of respect for Jim Leonard. They do a lot of similar things that we do.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Honda, buy local. Shop Zimbrick Honda. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at two convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Oil changes, brakes, alignments, and warranties. Honda's certified technicians handle it all. And if you need new tires, buy 3 and get the 4th for just $1 when they mount and balance them for you. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Gold medalist Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Wisconsin's best choice for roofing, siding, windows, and doors, Ridgetop Exteriors. I know they're the trusted local experts who consider customer service their #1 goal, but don't just take my word for it. Jake and Dawn are both recent customers who left 5-star reviews for the outstanding service and quality of work on their projects. Get a free estimate for your home project today by logging on to ridgetopexteriors.com. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
At Starion Bank, they pride themselves on being a super community bank. Small enough to show they care about you and the communities they serve, while being large enough to make big things happen. With 3 Madison area branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona, Starion Bank is here investing in your community while offering valuable personal and business banking services. Start your experience with Starion Bank today by going to starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
How can you ask for anything better than that, and just such a special place to play? But yeah, 18 years in the same spot, you also get used to everything, and everything is just kind of the same old with them.
There you have it. Aaron Rodgers tired of playing for the Green Bay Packers. Tired of that same old green and gold uniform being put on. Tired of that same old drive.
Tired of you.
Wore out from the Packers.
Wore out from you.
Oh, I am a delight.
Yeah.
I brought you to the dark side, Alex Strofe. I'm proud of myself.
No, not entirely. Look, this is
now
not.
You're
I'm
pulling
not
it back
rooting
here, young
for the
Skywalker.
Jets. I never once said. Maybe I did say it. I may have said it. I'm not rooting for the Jets to win a Super Bowl. I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers to look decent. But I like watching him play football.
But you would not have a high level of Schadenfreude.
If he won the MVP and they won 16 games, they went 16-1, and they were like, "Whoa, they're going to win the Super Bowl." That would piss me off.
You wouldn't rather see Aaron Rodgers grind out a year like you had in Green Bay with the Jets.
It'd be funny. You're not wrong about that.
It would give you joy.
It probably would.
You just don't want to admit it because you're not as in touch with your dark side as I am.
No, I'm not.
I know who I am. I know that certain things are going to make me, as a sports fan, happy.
Speaking of being a happy sports fan, you want to come watch me play Bar League volleyball tonight, 9:30 p.m.?
No.
Okay.
Do you want people to come watch you play sports?
No, not at all. I was just kidding.
I don't blame you either. I find it weird.
I don't know why. Look, I do know why I signed up for this, right? Because I signed up for this back in March, and I was like, whoa, spring and summer volleyball league sounds like fun. Can make some friends, hang out with my current friends. It sounds like a good idea, right? And here we are, game 1, May 2nd. It's going to be 42 degrees out tonight when we take the outdoor sand volleyball court. It's going to be hell.
Yeah, those things are a lot. I played in Madison Rec League with couple trying to think who people would know around here. I guess Jesse Temple was on the team. Gabe Neitzel was on the team.
Gabe Neitzel, yeah.
I'll mention Tom Lee, who was on the station for a good 4 or 5 years. He was on that team. And I think that's kind of then Patrick Herb, who was the basketball sports information guy, was on that team as well. But some of those games, man, you're showing up at 9 o'clock. And it's just
9:30 start tonight.
Yeah, it's just late. We're not on TNT. We're not on the West Coast.
We're not in LA.
The hell are we playing this late for?
We're in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm going to play in 42-degree weather tonight. What should I wear? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Iron Jock is what you should be wearing.
Yeah, that's fair, but I don't own an Iron Jock hoodie is my issue.
Really?
I feel like I might need a hoodie.
We have to get you an Iron Jock hoodie.
I have a long-sleeve shirt, so I'll probably wear that.
We should gotta get you a hoodie. Then I'd just wear, whether it's another, thin... you could wear a long sleeve under that ESPN one you're wearing.
Yeah.
So wear the Iron Jock underneath with that ESPN over the top.
Sweatpants?
Yeah, I think that'll do it for you.
All right. And I'll be moving, so I shouldn't be too cold, but I don't know, man. I'm not an athlete. This might be bad.
Volleyball's tricky, too, because you don't have to be athletic to be a good volleyball player, but you want to play a lot because there's enough where you don't want to be the guy mishitting it all the time.
Right. And, I might come in tomorrow with, my arm in a sling. I'm kind of worried about that.
You're going to be sore. If you get a lot of hits, your forearms are going to be sore.
I'm an athlete.
You are an athlete. You're going to grind it out tomorrow. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. Scalzo and Brust up next. We're presented by Coors Light.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially when it comes to lawn care. Right now, get unbeatable deals on a huge selection of lawn tractors, mowers, and more. Like a Cub Cadet electric mini riding mower with up to an hour of mow time per charge. For cars and trucks, get 20% off all Dickies and Ergo Drive automotive accessories. Assorted Midwest can fuel cans, just $17.99. And all Trico and Michelin wiper blades, buy one, get one half price.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and